Oh, wow, what an accomplishment, Mr. Musk.
Oh, thank you.
Second place is very honorable.
I'm sorry, what? SpaceX are the first to send humans past the moon.
Who's gonna tell him?
Tell me what?
I didn't think I'd be the one to show you this, but here, look at this. Ground control, we've left the atmosphere. Engaging secondary. What the fuck? This is Starship Mario, a forgotten planet ship thingy from Super Mario Galaxy 2, a game that a lot of people have forgotten about or didn't know exist. But something you probably do know about is that in April the Super Mario Galaxy movie is releasing, though you're probably wondering, what is a Super, or a Mario, or a Galaxy, or a movie? No need to panic, because I'll tell you all about it right... Oh, I think something broke. Oh. This must be on your end. Oh, I've heard about this. There should be a button under the video that says subscribe. If it does, make sure to click it and change it to say subscribed. That should fix everything. Here, I'll give you some time to do it. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Now I'll tell you all about it, but I think we need to go somewhere where it's safe. This keeps happening on my green screen. So, I'll head to the library. Why does this keep happening? Hello, and welcome back to The Powerful Show, the most out-of-this-world channel on YouTube. Get it? Because it's a space game. You can laugh. Ow! Okay, ow! You didn't throw anything. Ow! Owie! Today, we're going to space to visit the Super Mario Galaxy series in time for the new movie. Though, before we can board the rocket, we need to think. Scary, I know. About cinema, gaming, and books. All to prepare us for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. The first step to prepare has got to be looking to Super Mario Galaxy, presumably the film's main inspiration seeing the title. So, look up to the stars with me as a... Oh wait, no, we're inside! For a millennia, humans have gazed upon the stars in search of a variety of things. Philosophers for meaning, Christians for God, and believers in astrology for code. This human curiosity about space has shaped the species' interests and sparked the imagination of sci-fi writers to create some of the best works of fiction like Dune, Star Wars, and Interstellar, the last of which I think is a pretty stellar film. Okay, ow! That was funny! The pinnacle of the sci-fi genre was released in 2007 for the Nintendo Wii, and did the impossible. Sent an Italian to the moon. Well, technically not the moon, but it's a moon, so shut up anyway. Super Mario Galaxy really shook up the Mario series by making it seem like anything was possible. Actually, I think the best way to show you is by showing you the lineup. Super Mario Bros., the first mainline game, and Mario saves the princess from the evil Turtle Guy. Okay, not too crazy. The next game is the same thing but harder, but the game after that, well, that just isn't real. Wow, when Nintendo make it all a dream, they create the worst selling Mario game of all time, but when I do it in my English exams, I fail. Wait, there's actually more of a connection than I thought there'd be. Huh. 3 is a stage play, Land is foreign adultery, On the Go, World introduces dinosaurs and dynamite, Land 2 also introduces the complete opposite of Mario's essence, obesity. 64 gives us another dimension, Sunshine lets the man take a holiday and sends him to jail, New Soups is literally an attempt to go back to the past, and finally Galaxy. Well, who cares about Earth? That's so overdone. Send him to space without a spacesuit. Introduce sentient star things, a space princess with an unclear backstory, and oh, give him ice. Flowers. So essentially the devs took a bold leap and did something unexpected, which actually paid off, as the game is still highly regarded and talked about. It was so popular in fact that it received a sequel 3 years later, the first and only 3D Mario game to date to receive a fully fledged sequel. And I know there's 3D World, which is technically a sequel to 3D Land, but I didn't see a 2 in that title and it's from the Wii U era, so no one cares. It was so influential in fact that for Mario's 35th anniversary, it was released in a 3-pack alongside Mario 64 and Sunshine. Surprisingly, I have this limited bundle. I found it a few years ago when I was shopping with my nonna, and at the time I was starstruck, thinking I had come across a hidden gem and had to snatch up a deal like this. Just think of the resale value! These aren't actually that rare. Nintendo did the unthinkable and made enough supply to meet the demand, which means everyone got what they wanted. Well, except scalpers though, screw them. But unexpectedly, Nintendo released Galaxy again in a bundle with its sequel, so doesn't that invalidate the rarity of this one? It wasn't rare to start with, but still. Surely not. Nintendo would make sure this bundle is still rare. You can't play either of the other games on Switch any other way, right? Right? Okay, at least Sunshine's not on the console. It's okay, I'm fine. And as I said, Nintendo did the unthinkable and made enough supply to meet the demand, which means everyone got what they wanted. What a handsome guy. And what he said means that people already have Galaxy, so why would they buy Galaxy 1 again in the bundle and not just Galaxy 2 alone for cheaper? Hey, you know I like reading, right? No. Well, because... wait, you don't? Not especially. No, we kinda gave you more Rosalina story time. Yep, Nintendo really tried to convince a bunch of gamers to spend more money by offering them a bigger book. Like that would ever work. Damn it! Don't worry, I didn't buy the actual game. I just printed the cover out and then put it on my Cuphead box. All I needed to do was buy Super Mario Galaxy 2 separately and for cheaper, and then I would have both games without spending more than I needed to. Yeah, I also bought the physical book. Don't worry, I would never waste money. This doesn't have the new pages. Wait, so if the book doesn't have the new pages, then how am I supposed to experience that content? Well, don't worry, in this are all the answers. Yeah, I can just watch it on YouTube. Hello, and welcome back to the Powerful Storytime, the only storytime channel on YouTube that doesn't actually know how to read. Today we're reading Brie Larson's Rosalina's storybook, and I think now we should just jump right into it. So let's go to the first page, and Hey Siri, what does this image say? This book is a nice display piece for any gamer. How can you tell I'm single? It's just a cool thought knowing that I own the physical version of a kid's book from a game where it was read to me by a fictional space princess while I was sitting on the couch alone on a Friday night. It can't be that obvious. Though removing the unwarranted Nintendo glaze, I really did just buy an overpriced picture book from a kid's game, and knowing my spending history, I don't even think my bank would have batted an eye. Okay, a $300 plushie. Checks out. $730 worth of Kinder Surprises. Understandable. An overpriced picture book. Okay. $15 for taxes. Freezes account, this guy's been hacked! The only downside is it doesn't include the new pages, and there's no option for the new book written for Galaxy 2, which is odd seeing that it was released in line with the games. But alas, Nintendo don't have enough money, so I might as well help them out. Speaking of helping out, you've watched this video to about here, I'd say. So, to help me out, you should subscribe. And you probably already like the content or else you wouldn't have made it this far. Subscribing tells me that you like this kind of video and it helps me make more of them. Also, I didn't really know how to segue from the last part, so let's go to the gameplay. Hi, can I borrow one of your rockets real quick?
Of course not.
Really?
No.
Okay, I'll go.
Security.
Unfortunately, that didn't work. Like, who would have thought? No. Hey, what are you in for? Interesting. I'm just gonna tell my story now, if that's okay. It's the Day of the Star Festival, a celebration held every century, and Bowser attacks with his iconic flying ships and a random UFO. Jack Black pulls a Balthazar brat and sends Peach's castle to space with him. Mario tries to stop him but is thwarted by Kamek and sent back down to Earth, as Bowser, with the castle, jumps to legally distinct hyperspace. Mario wakes up on a mysterious planet. There he meets a space princess Rosalina, though not before playing hide-and-seek with some space bunnies. As you do. Mario is given a Luma, which allows him to spin, and that's surprisingly it. Rosalina pulls an Uncle Sam and sends Mario to war so he can reclaim the Grand Star to power the Comet Observatory. The Comet Observatory is the game's hub world and features the most recognizable theme music. Usually hub music just gets on my nerves as I hear it so much, but how can you hate on perfection? The observatory itself serves as an interesting hub world, as its only purpose is to house the domes, which actually take you to the galaxies. It's also where you can talk to Rosalina, the Lumas, and the variety of other characters that you interact with during your adventure. They often reward you with 1-ups, which can also be found scattered across the hub. After collecting your first Grand Star, Mario was given free reign of the almost completely powered off and desolate observatory, allowing him to choose either enter the Good Egg Galaxy and progress, or run around aimlessly in denial. A personal favourite hobby of mine. This galaxy is basically a tutorial, ending with Mario doing what every time traveller has dreamed of doing, and killing a tyrannical leader when they were a baby. Most people question why I killed him, but he just rubbed me the wrong way. Each galaxy has 3 base stars, though every galaxy isn't immediately accessible, as they require Mario to have collected a certain number of power stars, so it forces you to play through galaxies again to get different stars. Once you have enough, you can head to the boss galaxy and defeat the dome boss to collect a Grand Star. Some galaxies have their own bosses, and these are my favourite part of the game, as they all take advantage of a different mechanic which makes each unique and challenging. The mechanics used in these fights will likely come up later in the dome boss fight, but to a much more challenging degree. As I went through the first dome, I came across the Toad Brigade, led by their fearless leader, Captain Toad. Little known fact, but this is actually his first game alongside the Toad Brigade, though I'm not too surprised, as 2 3D Mario games ago, Mario looked like this. So not too surprising. Toad isn't the only person we come across, as in the kitchen we find Luigi, who ends up returning to the Comet Observatory with us. After his rescue, he sets out to help us find some stars, each time getting trapped in a different galaxy awaiting our rescue. Once we have all 6 Grand Stars needed to fully power up the observatory, we fly to the center of the universe to fight Bowser for a final time in order to save Princess Peach and the universe. This boss fight is completely different from the last ones, and requires you to beat Bowser more than just 3 times, which is not surprising for it being the final boss. The fight's ending is very cinematic, as you beat up Bowser and then reclaim the Grand Star to fly off with Peach. Though, as you do so, the entire universe collapses, and the universe restarts. With the game over, it's time for my opinions, and I really enjoyed the game. It's interesting, fun, and different from most games, even 18 years later. Aside from the sequel, I can't think of another popular game like this. Not that other companies didn't try though. Each galaxy is different from the last, and each mechanic introduced is fun and adds a lot to the overall experience. Unfortunately, the game does have its problems. The camera is finicky at best, with most situations just taking control away from you, and I don't know why they went for this option. I'm not sure if this was for an idea of baby's first 3D game, so the cameras are just done for you, or in a sense of laziness because it was easier. I guess I'll see with the next game, but it's really a bit confusing. I think the lack of mouse control is kind of annoying, seeing that the game has a built-in cursor that you can only control with motion controls. I was playing the 3D All-Stars version, but I wonder if it's going to be changed in the next one, which is literally made for the console. I really enjoyed the final boss fight, and even got a new reaction image out of it. The game gets a bit repetitive at parts. When I first played it, I only got to 21 stars before stopping, because I don't actually remember why, but this time, when I was playing it for the video, it was quite fun and enjoyable. I would probably play it again. And frankly, I'm quite excited to play the sequel. Overall, Super Mario Galaxy is a great game, despite its flaws, and now is the best time to play it, as you can buy it alongside its successor. Speaking of which, I've never played or seen anything about Super Mario Galaxy 2, so going in I'm blind and really excited. I hope they fix some of the problems I had with Galaxy 1, like the camera and the mouse controls. And seeing Yoshi on the cover art, I'm really excited and can't wait. So,
Hey buddy, turns out you have really good lawyers, as they got the judge to go back on their decision. Instead of jail time, you'll just have to do mandatory public service. So, you're gonna go help the community.
what does that entail?
Hello and welcome back to the Powerful Storytime, the only storytime channel on YouTube that still can't read. And I don't know why I still have this job, but anyway, today I'm doing the impossible and reading again for some reason. So today we're reading Super Mario Galaxy 2, and I think let's just get right into it. Alex, what does it say? It says the. You know what? That's it.
That's it.
Bring in the wizard.
Thanks.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo, energetic with you.
What the? Welcome back to Starship Mario, the forgotten hub from the relatively obscure sequel that I have a lot of thoughts about. The game starts in a storybook-esque style, with the screen corners white and page-turning transitions. It follows the idea that the universe has reset again, and that it's a new story unfolding. A new story that is both eerily close to the original, but also vastly different. Aside from the opening 2D storybook appearance, it's mostly similar. By far the biggest difference in the game is with Bowser. Get it? Clearly he caught up in all the Despicable Me movies and saw that it didn't work for Balthazar. You know, someone should really watch all those movies sometime. Subscribe. Bowser dips somehow, and Mario flies off to help the Lumas collect power stars. Once he does so, he meets Lubba, a Luma mechanic who, alongside their Luma crew, constructs this very starship. Whimsy-wise, this is superior to the Comet Observatory. Just look at it, it's Mario's face. But as a hub, it kind of falls short. The reason is due to no fault of its own, it's because of the drastic shake-up in gameplay. Instead of continuing with the domes from its predecessor, Galaxy 2 opts for a more 2D Mario-inspired world map, which forces players down a set path. And because of the inclusion of the world map, there's not actually much to do in the hub, except for talk to NPCs who we'll get back to. Aside from looking different, it doesn't actually change much in terms of gameplay, just forcing the player down a linear path and making them complete most galaxies to be able to continue. Additionally, each galaxy only has 2 stars now and a comet medal, a collectible that unlocks the use of comets. Like the last game, I hopped from galaxy to galaxy, collecting every star possible before moving on. Eventually, I stumbled across a star bunny who, once I beat the level, returned to Starship Mario with me. This bunny is the pinnacle of cuteness, just look at this little guy. Though he's also the pioneer of something I hate incredibly with all my heart. Tutorials are essential in every video game to teach new players how to play, and they're surprisingly ubiquitous in Super Mario Galaxy 2. When it first appears, this bunny gives the player a tutorial on how to spin jump. Sure, a necessary skill for the flip switch galaxy, though when it returns to your ship, Lubba comments on how cute the bunny is, and then the bunny itself is unchanged from the galaxy. It still says the same dialogue it did when you were still in the flip switch galaxy. Is it honestly that hard to remember how to spin jump? I don't know what I was expecting, maybe a 1-up or a minigame, as chases are their entire gimmick in the first game, but no, they just went Command C, Command V. Turning the bunny from an interesting character to a useless tutorial. All the other Lumas on the ship are also there as tutorials. Well, except for one Luma who tells you to get a move on with it, and actually no, honestly, I respect you. But what I don't respect is the soul-crushing tutorials. Every sign used to have a personality. Do you remember the Board family? Bill, Phil, Jill, and Gil? Well, now they're scarcely placed across the game. They're just as rare as water is in Africa. Apart from this rare occasion, all other signs have been replaced with regular tutorial signs that you can't skip or speed through. I've prayed every night that I wake up the next day and there's magically an Undertale skip button. I think Catholic school's working because one day I woke up and realized that holding A makes dialogue scroll quicker, which isn't as good as an Undertale, and I did learn it a day before finishing the game, but I'll take what I can get. Anything is better than waiting for those boring ass signs to finish talking, which just makes me question why I make the choices I do. Why did I read this sign? Why did I boot up the game? Why did I buy this game? Why did I buy the console? Why did I eat cereal this morning? Why was I born just to suffer? That was a bit extreme, but this game might just have a problem with quantity control, as when Yoshi was first introduced, he was dragged on a bit. His overabundance left him feeling more like a permanent part of every galaxy, rather than a limited time power-up. Fortunately, he does start to slow his appearances after the first world, but it just left a bad taste in my mouth, ruining every time I saw him from that point on. After making your way to it and collecting enough stars, you can enter the boss galaxy, and your first opponent is Bowser Jr. The boss fights in this game are just as good, if not better than the ones in the last, though they raise a small point of concern, and that's that they feel slightly unethical. Take this caterpillar ruler thingy. It looks evil now, doesn't it? Well, this is how we found it. Fast asleep. And you know what Mario did when he arrived? He whipped it out and shot the poor thing in the knee. What the hell? You might say it was just a monster that's controlling the land. No, that's wrong. It did nothing to hurt me, nor did any of its henchmen. They simply walked around. After thinking it through, it looks less like Mario saving the galaxy from invaders and more like Mario genociding the immigrants. Maybe I've just been playing too much Undertale and I'm reading into it, but surely it can't just be me seeing this. Like, this doesn't seem right, does it? Before flying off to fight the thing, Captain Toad calls it a monster, and I'm not sure he knows, but he's a weird little guy with an unclear anatomy. Like he's just a hat or part of your head. I don't know, and you feel the superiority to call this thing a monster? While on the topic of Captain Toad, what happened to my boy? I don't know what they did differently in this game, but I just don't like him. I don't know if it was the dialogue and name calling or no, it was definitely the extortion. In one galaxy, he just sends the rest of his brigade to the mines. I don't think he can do that. Kind of questionable. And actually, you know what? I'm taking away the edit. Come back to me when you're in a much more positive game. Everything I've pointed out so far has just been minor issues that can be easily overlooked, though something it can't be is that they took away the ice flower. Why? The red star was understandable, as it's only in one galaxy as well as in the Comet Observatory, and wasn't important enough to even be mentioned in my prior review and synopsis. The ice flower was one of the best power-ups in my opinion, as it was fun to play, unlike the spring. Who even liked this trash? It even seemed like the devs had plans to include it, as there was one level that seemed especially made for it, but at the last second they pulled the rug and replaced my beloved with a button. What are they going to replace next? Mario? Oh my gosh, actually I like this one better. Luigi can be found in some galaxies, where he offers to sub in for Mario. After he does so, you can go back and race him to get the star. The star is already collected and you can't get it again, so I don't actually know what the reward is for racing him. I've never tried it myself, I wasn't ever bothered, but thankfully we have the almighty AI overview to tell us. These two games have a very similar gameplay loop, as you have to explore galaxies to collect stars to progress. Along the way, unlocking new abilities, facing different enemies, all culminating in the final galaxy at the end of the game. This game's final level is far better in my opinion, as it actually utilizes all the abilities we've unlocked along the way. Surprisingly, Yoshi isn't a constant throughout the level, as each power-up takes center stage in its own part alongside different mechanics, with Yoshi and his 3 states only rounding it off at the end right before the boss fight. Bowser is not too different from the prior fights, though significantly harder, being able to withstand more hits and serving the player a fake-out ending, which frankly wasn't expected. It also wasn't too hard as I beat it first try, damageless. But anyway, that's the game, so time to move to my final review, and that's it. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a lot harder to rate in comparison to its predecessor. Sure, I found a lot more issues, but they were smaller and weren't game-breaking. Additionally, it improves very little, preventing it from actually being definitively better than its predecessor. Despite all my criticism, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a subjectively good game, and stands toe-to-toe with the original, though if I had to play one, I would play Super Mario Galaxy over Super Mario Galaxy 2, as I prefer it, due to it giving me more freedom, having a better hub world, and only 4 chapters, Nintendo. I thought you wanted me to buy your game. Side note, Super Mario Galaxy 2 still doesn't have mouse support, despite being specifically ported to the Switch 2, which I just kind of find annoying because it would fit so well. Why didn't you add it, Nintendo? What am I paying $50 for? But don't worry, I'll just go cry in the corner with everyone else who actually cares about mouse controls in Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Thank you so much. And that's all I really have to say about the game, which means I have nothing more to say about the series. And that means that you're prepared to go to the cinema in about 2 months and watch the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So go have fun, and thank you so much for watching my video out of all the rest. If you actually truly enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. But wait, before you go, I have to ask you 2 questions. The first is, what are your thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy series? Which game do you think is better? And the second question is, who do you think would win in a fight? Jack Black? Jack Black? Jack Black or Jack Black? It's tough, I know, but I think there is definitely a winner, and you guys can debate it in the comments. I'll definitely throw my hat into the ring. It's definitely Jack Black. I know 100% that Jack Black's gonna win. Jack Black doesn't stand a chance, I'm sorry. But Jack Black, he's a bit of an underdog. I'm never gonna be putting $100 on Jack Black in a million years. Though you guys can discuss it with me in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. Have a powerful day. And see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Before I go, I'd like to shout out some of my friends that voiced in this video. I'd like to shout out Meteor, Levish, and the Life is Given Corporation. The links to all their channels are in the description, and you can find a card in the top corner that links to the channels as well. Okay, bye.